Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Wendy and this we're going to call So It Begins. It's a series where I'm going to give you everything you need to know to begin sewing. In this series, I'm going to take you through supplies. I'm going to keep things real affordable, and I'm also going to be in the comments to help you out as much as possible. I can't answer every single thing, but if it's a question that I feel like a lot of people will appreciate an answer to, I will do my best. In case you're brand new here, I hope you can trust me with this process because I also know what it's like to start with the easy stuff and grow from there. Like, I've never gone to fashion school and everything I know is I got it from a mama or the internet. So we're gonna do this together. In this first video, I would like to talk about sewing supplies. And I want to break that all down into levels because I feel like there's an aspect of sewing where it's like, there's so many supplies needed. That's intimidating. I don't want to spend all the money. I don't want to start. It's kind of like if you were on your very first time cooking and you were like, we're going to sous vide a chicken. Like, there's so many way easier and very delicious things to make before you get to this like super fancy level of cooking. And likewise with sewing, there's actually so much to enjoy before you get to the whole sewing machine and I have an ironing board and over there is my body form. No, you can start with the really basic stuff and still enjoy sewing. We're going to start with level 1 of sewing, where all you need for that is needle, thread, scissors. This is a sewing kit that I got at the dollar store, I think, and it's got needles, it's got a couple of different threads, it's got tiny dinky scissors that, like, your kitchen scissors are probably better than this. It even has a folded up measuring tape and a needle threader. What's that? Oh, and safety pins. So that's even more than you needed for level 1. But level 1 will get you to all basic mending. Actually, this shirt I'm wearing today, I wore purposefully because the bottom button has fallen off. So actually, I bet I could fix it with this kit. Okay, red thread, needles. Oh gosh, it can't even cut the thread. I came here to prove a point about using the dollar store stuff, but these scissors, they cannot cut it sharp. Yes. Okay, it's threaded. This is the spot where the button is supposed to be. Ba-bing! That trick alone can earn you quite a few points with yourself and with your friends. There's going to be so many more pieces of clothing that you can extend the life of. The number of times friends have come up to me and asked if I could help them repair something with buttons. And yeah, now if you have that hole in the front of your shirt that always rubs against the pants and develops a hole there, you can fix that hole. I have a tutorial for that. Or if you're going to some party and you're like, I wish the back pocket of my pants had sequins all over it, you can sew those on. The needle, thread, and scissors is all you need to start enjoying sewing at level 1. This is like the instant noodles enjoyment version. If you're ready to move on to level 2, as I call it, things that will help you in that are a measuring tape or stick, but tape will probably help you more. A pair of fabric scissors, so you can cut through fabric instead of using your kitchen scissors, some pins or clips, and some glue or hem tape. This will cover all beginner small to medium size projects. At this point, you can adjust your pant lengths. You can also make a crop top and other really basic thrift modifications. I mean, if you had the scissors, maybe you could have done the crop top thing already, but now it's gonna look a little bit more professional because you can use the hem tape to like close it off and not everything has to be ripped, distressed look. This brings me to the pants that I'm wearing. When I'm standing, I found these pants to be kind of an awkward spot on my ankle, and I don't appreciate it because it's limiting the number of times I get to wear these pants, so let's do some level 2 modification on these pants. Okay, this now reflects a much more accurate view of what it's like to be sewing, which is sewing in your underwear. I can't be alone in this. There has to be other people who sew in their underwear too. Using a tape measure, I have already measured out the distance that I want to remove, and it's nice to measure it because then that way you can be consistent all the way around. So we're going to measure that, fold it out of the way, and then pin it. Now for this part, if you really wanted things to go fast, you could use hem tape. I have a weird habit of not using hem tape, so I am going to sew it, but hem tape or even fabric glue. Okay. You might want to add hair straightener to the list. Ooh, that was steamy. Ah, yes. One is definitely shorter. Oh, hey. But I'm into this. Yeah, I'm like 10 times more likely to wear this out now. Finally, that takes us to level 3. This is perhaps the stage where most people thought you would start when it comes to sewing, but it's not. It's all the way in level 3. There's so much fun to be had in level 1 and 2 before you get to level 3, which is the sewing machine, as you may expect. Once you have a sewing machine, you can do all beginner sewing projects, and you can do items that are progressively bigger. And the reason why I bring this whole size thing into it is because when you're doing things by hand, it's slow, and so naturally you should focus on projects that are small, maybe medium in size. But I post tutorials where I'm making full-on like dresses, backpacks, jackets, and there's always that one comment that's like, "This is great. Could I do this by hand?" And you think you're asking, could I do this by hand? But what you're really asking is, do I have the highest ranking patience in the whole world? And I just don't know how to answer that. Like, I believe in you, but there's many things that I would advise using a machine for instead of doing it with your own hands. With the sewing machine, you can make pretty much anything from scratch. Quite a few of my sewing tutorials involve a sewing machine because I'm making stuff from scratch. There are way more sewing supplies that you can purchase, as with like filling your kitchen with all sorts of kitchen doodads. And so I'm not trying to pretend they don't exist. All I'm trying to say is, after the sewing machine, so many of the things you can get are just to help you make things faster or prettier or more professional. And so that's when we're getting into like pin cushions, like my fancy pin cushion bracelet, and it's because you want a nice place to hold your pins. You can get pinking shears. Those just are a different fancy scissor to help finish off the ends so they don't fray. You can get a rotary cutter and a mat and the acrylic ruler if you want to cut through a lot of layers at once with a really nice straight line. And you could also probably get an iron instead of using a hair straightener like I've been doing for a long time. That is the basics of sewing supplies. If you feel like I missed something, which I might have, please include it in the comments and I will highlight the ones that I want people to remember. I also am very aware that just mentioning sewing machines and glossing over it did not do the sewing machine world justice. So the next episode in this series is going to be all about sewing machines. We're going to go into what kind of features are non-negotiable, what kind of price ranges there are, also what kind of features there are as you move up in the price range. I have an old sewing machine video, but this one is going to be so much better. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope this was a helpful introduction to sewing. Also, thank you for being the motivation for me to mend this shirt and tailor the length of these pants. Tag me in your projects, DM me with your questions. I am with Wendy on Instagram, and if you're subscribed, then I will see you next time. Bye-bye!